Okay, so also understand our live stream on YouTube is active. So I propose we start. So good morning, everybody. My name is Joost Geurts. Together with BDVA, Ana Garcia, and Ido Bante from University of Twente, we are hosting the Adra office. Today, so we are delighted to welcome you on behalf of also the European Commission and the Ideal-ist network on this Horizon Europe Infoday and Brokerage event. I'm very excited to see you also numerous here on what is going to be a very exciting event. So what we'll do today, so we start with a short pitch from our president, Marina Bill. Then we'll follow up with a presentation from the Commission on the topics of Horizon Europe that will be due in November this year, so the topics on AI, data, and robotics. So then we have a presentation of the Ideal-ist network and their brokerage tools, which allow you to network and present your proposal ideas with and create a possible consortium. And then after that, we have a number of pitches where people present their expertise and also their project ideas. So just some practicalities. If you have a question, please post this in the chat, prefix it with a Q and the name you'd like this person to answer. We'll be collecting these questions in a document, and the ones that we will not have time to answer during this session, we'll try to get back to you with this later. So this is also for the people in the YouTube that will not be able to post directly questions to this session, but please do ask your questions in the YouTube, and we'll try to answer them later on. Also, all the presentations will be shared after the event. Okay, so thanks a lot. So then let's start with Marina Bill, so the president of Adra, to give us an insight on what Adra is all about. Marina.
Thank you very much, Joost, and a very warm welcoming to everybody. And it is for sure a warm welcoming. I think most of us in Europe at the moment is having really warm weather. So let's enjoy it as long as it lasts. Thank you, especially everybody who is joining this event. I'm so excited that so many people want to hear more about us and what we're doing. And I really hope this is the start of it. So I'm happy that we have this event today, and really looking forward that this will lead to much closer cooperation and a dialogue in the future to come. So with that, I'll say we'll jump in directly into the presentation. I think most of you know by now, or I hope you know by now, what Adra is about. So this is the co-program partnership with Horizon Europe, where on one side we have the European Commission, the public side, and then the Adra Association on the private side. And the MOU we signed a little bit about, well, more or less exactly a year ago. And the idea is to match the investments with 1.3 billion from the public investment with the private investment. So this is really the really big picture on what we want to achieve. But none of this will be achieved without you. So this is really something we have to do together, all of us, in order to move the needle. So let's go to the next slide. Adra is then a new association, or as I said, we were founded a year ago, and it's a joint initiative, which makes it a little bit special and also very interesting in that part. It's joined with 5 different organizations. So you have the Big Data Value Organization, then you have the 3 AI organizations with Claire, EURI, and Ellis, and then on the last part you have the EU Robotics also. So it's really a cooperation between these 5 organizations to really look upon the areas that are common from all of us. So let's continue. There are, now you can see me, but I'm only one of a big group of people who's working on this, and we are all very convinced and very dedicated to this. So I hope you will see the pictures of maybe some people you know already. After this meeting, if you have any questions, you want to discuss more, you want to have us a speaker or like, please feel free to reach out to any of us here. We are very, very happy to support you in any way we can, and also to have the discussions about memberships and the like. And as you can see, we come from a variety of different industries, research. Also, our geographical spread is rather wide in this part. And I'm here with 2 flags. There's actually more people here who has 2 flags who are coming from one country but living in another one. So try to have a true split of people in here. Okay, so let's continue. So again, general objectives of the Adra partnership and Adra is really to secure Europe's sovereignty in the area of AI, data, and robotics, in technologies and know-how. Establish Europe as the leader and the leadership in these technologies, since we also have the high socio-economical and environmental impact that they, as standalone, but also together, even more can contribute to, and to reinforce a strong and global competitive position for Europe in these areas. So this is the very high level picture of what we want to achieve. So let's continue from there, and let's look upon a few data points. Why now, and why a little bit the background to both this meeting and why we started this organization at all. Adra is really needed for the digital decade policy in Europe. And if you look upon, and just to take a few data points, we have a target that 75% of European enterprises have taken up big data, which is maybe not the most ambitious target. We could also, it should even be more, but let's keep the target 75%. If you see where we are today, or where we were at the end of 2021, you can see that we're on 20%. And with the target 2030 on 75%, there is quite a hockey stick to get there. So we have a long road in front of ourselves. And if we look upon the same kind of figures of enterprises have taken up AI, we start on a slightly higher level on 25%, but still far away from the target. So we have really a steep climb to do in these 2 areas. We go to the next part, just another data point, and this is just looking upon the AI index in robots, the new industrial robot installations per region. If we look upon this, and we can see the trend, and we can see that Europe is not having as a strong growth trend as we have both in Asia and North America. So the conclusion of all of this, if we go to next slide, is, and then there I can show a lot of more pictures, but I think we'll just take a few data points. But I think it's clear for all of us that AI plays really a key role for global competition and technical leadership. And we are a little bit behind if you compare us to other regions right now. So it's really time that we do something together. And that is a little bit the background, or the background for Adra, and also why it's so important that we all cooperate around these targets. So let's continue and talk a little bit of what Adra's approach to this is. So we want to leverage the existing strengths in these areas. Very important. We want to, and we are today a very open and inclusive organization, and it's the strength of it will come from this openness and inclusiveness, and that will put the fundamentals for having a really broad dialogue in the whole ecosystem, because we want to involve everybody. If it's startups, SME, large, more mature industry, more large starting up industry, research, academia, we want to make sure that everybody is involved in this dialogue here. And therefore, we want to also make sure that there is a balance between the constituency, but the industry and research, that everybody is in here. So therefore, we are also working on the representation of all really important stakeholders in this part. And therefore, I'm so happy that this event attracted so many people, since I know on the line now we have people really from all the different areas that we want to engage with. So let's continue. This is a little bit, and I will not go through it in detail, but this is a little bit how we have developed since a little bit more than a year ago, with the first board meeting one. The founding in the association took place in May. And then the big was the signing of the MOU with the EC, which was more or less exactly a year ago. And since then, we've been working on getting ourselves organized. We have launched a website. We have weekly meetings in different setups. We had the launch event in November that some of you might have visited. And if we continue a little bit what we've done we open it up for members. Also working a lot with shaping the work programs 23 and 24 with the EC. We have done exchange with the NCPs. Welcoming event is what we do today, and we will and Infodays that is co-organized also here. So we are doing a lot of things to make sure that we get known and that we get your input and that we get really this very important dialogue up and running. And the General Assembly, we are going to have the first one as of next week. We also have then different subcommittees, and today we have 5 subcommittees: communication and marketing, making sure we can have this event, web pages and the like, the strategy and vision, the setup of task forces, regulation and finance, and the recruitments of our secretary generally. There will of course be more subcommittees and more work, but part of this is building the fundamentals for the organization just to work. But even more important, we're working on the content and also, for instance, the support in shaping work programs, and working very hard on the strategy and the vision where we want to go here. So let's continue. This is a little bit where we are today with memberships. So it's growing by the week. We have new members every week, and very happy to see that there are members also from a big variety of countries, and also from all the funding organizations membership. But of course, we want to be more of us, because the more of us it is, the better the work, the more quality the work will be, and the more of a strength and a force and a power we can be here. So happy to invite more of you to join this, and I hope today with you learning more of it will be a good basic. But as I said, any questions that you would have also later, please feel free to reach out to us. So let's continue. Membership, a little bit very also high level membership benefits. As access to a large network of the stakeholders here to impact EU research program. Really a unique contractual partner to EC in this, a very, very special part here, which we will continue to developing. Participate in us now authoring the SLIDA. Coordinate response to position documents, white paper, consultations, policy document, and that we have coordinated responses, and then we make sure to look upon it from all angles. Improve visibility, of course, at EU level. Then if we continue on the number 2, also, of course, as in every organization, propose candidates, voting rights, and lead and participate, and also form which topic groups and which task forces we should have. So that's a little bit of parts here. We've tried to have different types of membership also here to make sure we are really inclusive and open to everybody. So there's both the industry members, the research members, and strategic members. And then without voting right, you can also become an associate member with NGOs and alike. And if you look upon the schedule for it, if we look upon the next slide, we've also tried to now adapt the membership fees, so it's adapted for everybody independent of who you are, and you will also get a discount if you're already a member of one of the other organizations. So the memberships are set that it should be a good contribution, but it should also be a fair setup depending on the size of the company and the type of activity. And yeah, I think we can continue. So how to apply? We will send out this all to you. This is 5 steps, and you start from the web page. And any support, the Secretary General address can be used at any time. So we're really happy, and so far this process has been working very smoothly. So there should be no obstacles here, and really you start from the Adra website if you want to, and or when you want to become a member. Yes. And with that, very short introduction, and just to summarize it up, we're really proud and happy that we have started Adra. We're really pleased to see the lot of attention, and we're seeing the amount of traffic coming to our web pages, and also people who comes to our events. We want to make sure that we can work even more efficient and even broader with all the really urgent topic that we have to really strengthen the 3 areas here in the EU. And therefore, we also want to see more people and more organizations and more companies being active involvement and members of Adra. And I hope that today will lead to a lot of new thoughts and insights. And again, this is not a one-time event. This is a way to start a dialogue between all of us. So with that, I thank you very much. And in the interest of time also, we'll hand over to the next part of the agenda. So thank you very much, and looking forward, hopefully, since things are changing, to see many of you live soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Do you have time for one or two questions? We have two questions from the audience.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll read them to you. So there was one question on the graph about the growth of the robotics industry, and it was a comparison between Asia and South America. And the question is if you have any insight how this graph was developed. So how was measured?
Yeah, I mean, it's based on official figures that exist on the market of different research. There's different type of research of giving estimates of this one. We base them on what is out there. We can send you the source also here. We also base a lot of the material of what we have from IFR, and the IFR's report for the preliminary figures for 2021 is actually out now, and you will see a similar trend here. So it's based on market research data there.
Okay, thanks. And another question. So this is about a member. So if you want to become a member of Adra, do you need to be an organization, or can you also join as an individual person?
There, Joost, you can help me now. Let's see now how we do it with individual persons.
So yeah, I can answer the question.
Yeah, do that. I think you do the correct.
Yeah. No worries. So this is a bit different than what we see in associations like Claire and Alice, where you sign up or where you can sign up as an individual person. So in Adra, organizations become members. But then, I mean, of course, once an organization is a member, individual persons can contribute in the way they like. So there's also a question. So I mean, if you then change job, I mean that's again, so the organization is a member. So if you change job, then your new job should be a member as well, or your new, yeah. All right. Okay. Maybe then last question for Marina. So the question there is, okay, what is the advantage of being member of Adra and also from the founding of one of the founding organizations? So,
I mean, the advantage is, of course, to take part of this new organization, to shape the new organization, to take part of this dialogue, helping with shaping the work programs, being part of the dialogue with the commission, and look upon the interlink between these three areas and what we can do together. So there is lots of advantages here, but also I think it's extremely exciting when you're in the beginning of starting an organization. You can also impact how it works. But being this part where we both take new technology like AI, flight technology like robotics, big data, and seeing, what is the interaction between this one and how can that impact where we live, and really being the strong talking partner into EU. So, yeah. And as we go, we will continue to develop roundtable discussions and forums where ideas and can be used and can be discussed.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Marina. Thanks a lot for getting us up to date on what's happening in Adra. All right, so then let's move on to the next agenda item. So this is the presentations of the topic in the Horizon Europe program. So we're very pleased to have Evangelia and Antonio with us today to present the topics. So Antonio, I believe you are the one to start. So please go ahead.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Antonio Puente. I'm going to present the topics of the call tool that was launched yesterday, together with my colleague Evangelia Marquidu. We both work for the unit A1 on artificial intelligence and robotics innovation and excellence at the European Commission. So I'm going to share my screen. I will start with the topics on digital emerging, and later on my colleague Evangelia will take over and she will present the topics on human. So let's, one moment, I'm going to share the screen.
Yes, we see it, Antonio.
Do you see it?
Yeah, we see it very well.
Perfectly. So let's start. As I said, I'm going to present 3 topics, the topics on digital emerging, which are the topics digital emerging 0205, 06, and 07, which were launched yesterday. The call also opened on 16 June and will be closing on 16th November. So we still have a number of months to prepare, but pay attention because the time rushes also, so don't wait for the last moment to prepare proposals if you are interested in. What I'm going to do is to make a short summary of what is in the text of the call, in case that you find any contradiction between my explanation of the call text. Hopefully not, but the call text prevails. So the call text is the legal act which establishes what is requested here in these topics. So let's start with the first one, the topic Digital Emerging 05, which is called AI Data Robotics from Industry Optimization, including production and services. This topic is calling for innovation actions. Regarding the size of the projects, we are the call text specifies 2 types of projects. First, small focused projects with no financial support to third parties, which should have an approximate budget of 3 million per project, and larger projects with a minimum of 40% of the budget devoted to financial support to third parties, which is recommended to have a budget about 5 million euros. In total, the budget allocated to this topic is 19 million euros. Also, we are talking about approximately between 5, 6, 7 projects. Regarding the progress of the technology that must be proposed by the projects, the text call specifies that the project should start the development, the research and development activities with a technology readiness level of between 3 and 5, and they should make advance the TRL from 2 to 3 steps. That is, at the end of the project, the action should reach a TRL between 6 and 7. The outcomes that are expected for this topic is first, advancing AI, data, and robotics and automation for the optimization of the production and service value chains. And secondly, artificial intelligence for adaptive production of services workflows to changing the environment, dynamic and predictable resources constraints, capabilities and restrictions of humans, and transferring resources from one domain to another. So as you see, there are one scope that is more focusing on robotics, another one which is more focusing on software and artificial intelligence. It's important that the proposals specify the focus, whether they focus more on productions or on industrial services, because this will be used for funding selection, as at least one of these 2 focus will be awarded a grant. If it's not explicit in the proposal, it will be assessed at the evaluation stage, but it is much better if the proposer specifies which is the focus of the proposals in line with the text code. Regarding the scope of the proposal is to integrate and optimize artificial intelligence, data, and robotic solutions to demonstrate how they can optimize production and services use cases. The proposals should be use case driven, including some major industrial sectors. They must demonstrate technology performance, trustworthy solutions, and substantial benefit to major European industries. We expect to have a deep involvement of stakeholders, and the proposal should address also non-technical issues, for instance, the ethics, the trustworthiness, business support, data access, and reusability of the solutions. All proposals are expected to demonstrate progress by means of using qualitative and quantitative KPIs related to the industry or the service that they are targeting, or by implementing demonstrators or benchmarking exercise or progress monitoring. There are two main types of proposals, as I have already said. First of all, focus projects, which are small. As an indication, we suggest €3 million budget for these projects, although this is not a mandatory figure. You can propose other budgets if you think it's appropriate. And this small projects should include user industries and technology providers. And also, the second type of proposals is larger projects, which must include necessarily financial support to third parties. In that case, at least 40% of the budget should be devoted to financial support to third parties, and each third party may be awarded with a cascaded grant of €200,000. Regarding the funding rates, it will be 70% for SMEs and 100% for startups. Sorry. Other requirements that are specified in the call for this topic is the innovation action must build on existing solar resources. They must share the results with the community and other projects. It's important to connect with the stakeholders, and in particular with the digital innovation hubs networks and the private-public partnerships, obviously Adra, but not exclusively Adra, also with the other PPPs existing. The involvement of in user industries is a requirement because the user industries are meant to provide requirements for the developments and the validation. And the proposals are expected to support SMEs and startups and awareness raising. Finally, to conclude this topic, what we are looking for? We are looking for maximizing the impact through including major industrial sectors and demonstrate clear benefits to integrate and optimize AI, data, and robotic solutions, to make tests in actual and highly realistic operating environments to boost deployment, to find the right mix of expertise in the different areas or disciplines affected by the proposals, And both robotics and non-robotics artificial intelligence is encouraged. The ideal is a combination of both, but there can be also non-robotics AI included. And there are the possibility of having both small, more focused projects and large projects, including FSTP. What do we not want? So what we do not want is our proposals with major research components. These are innovation actions, so they deal more with technology transfer. So it consists in putting into practice and making developments around exploiting results of recent research. But research as such is not to be done as part of the action. Another thing that we don't want is technology push. So we don't want invented problems. We want realistic problems coming from real industries. Another thing that we do not want in this topic is to address niche sectors with very limited impact. We are trying to maximize the impact. And as a summary, what we don't want is anything artificial. So let's move to the next topic. We have in the next heading of digital emergence, which is efficient, robust, safe, and adaptive and trusted, two different topics. The first one is 06, pushing the limit of physical intelligence and performance, which are research and innovation actions. And the second one is digital emergence 07, increase robotics capabilities demonstrated in key sectors. So I start with the first one, pushing the limit of physical intelligence and performance. These are research and innovation actions. This topic is awarded with a total of 28.5 million euros. And regarding the technology readiness levels, the actions are the indicated range for the progress is to start the projects in a TRL from 2 to 3 and end in a level of 4 or 5. The expected outcomes of this topic are safe, efficient physical interaction, focusing on performance and speed of the robots. The second is increase in improving the robustness and the adaptability to change, focusing in long-term autonomy and trustworthy and dependable performance. And the third one is on advanced physical functionality, focusing on the capacity, the efficiency, and performance beyond the human capabilities. Each proposal must choose at least one of these outcomes. So not necessarily the proposals do not need to address all the three at the same time. One is enough. Regarding the scope, proposals must significantly extend the physical capabilities of robots. And there are two main scopes. One focusing on physical performance, where the key words for this scope is focusing on robustness and resilience, energy efficiency and improved safety and autonomy, speed in extreme physical conditions. And the second one is More promising, innovative concepts. So concepts that have not been tested in the past, which are really novel. For instance, in collaborative, modular, and distributed, hyper-redundant, highly reconfigurable, variable, short or miniaturized robotics, trying to make a better adaptation to industry and society, or to exploit novel configurations and concepts. So, as you may see, to summarize these two scopes, one focus more on better increasing the performance, and the other one in novel ideas and concepts. Continuing with the concept, continuing with the scope, there are a number of elements that I want to add that are requirements of this for this topic, and it's important that you take them into account at the moment of drafting the proposals. The first one is to increase the robot's physical capabilities relevant to industry and service needs. For instance, in terms of actuation, miniaturization, control, trustworthiness, dependability. Second point is the action should embed methods and tools to increase the performance and interaction of robots in real-world tasks where testability is limited. Thirdly, rethink robot bodies to increase the physical interaction capabilities for any size, type of activity of environment, or to have innovative approaches, including building on underlying technologies and increasing energy efficiency. And finally, to add cognitive mechatronics. All of that should be developed using AI under concepts of trustworthy AI. All proposals are expected to demonstrate the progress by pushing the TRL for 4.5 up to 4.5 at the end of the project. And these demonstrations should be done by qualitative and quantitative KPIs, or by using appropriate demonstrators, benchmarkings, and progress monitoring. This finishes this topic. Then I'll go to the last topic that I'm going to explain, which is Digital Emerging 0207, which is titled Increased Robotics Capabilities Demonstrated in Key Sectors. Again, these are innovation actions. The total budget for this topic is 36 million euros. We expect having innovation actions with a recommended budget of about 9 million euros per action. All actions should include financial support to third parties. At least 20% of the project budget should be devoted to third parties, with a maximum of 200 kilo euros per third party. The technology readiness levels must start in 3 to 5, and at the end of the project, they must reach 6 to 7. The expected outcomes are regarding demonstration systems able to show added value of robotics and increase performance in major application sectors or in DDD and strenuous activities. I remind you that DDD means dull, dirty, and dangerous activities. So this is the typical 3D law that is pretty well known in robotics, and we add the strenuous activities as well to be included along with the DDD, or in extreme environments. So we are talking in general of hard applications. And the outcomes have two main focus. One is going beyond human performance in complex tasks. For instance, having increased adaptation and flexibility capacity, and also high impact in key sectors. And the second one focus on high levels of reactivity and responsibility and intelligibility. And this is addressing mostly in human-robot interaction or robot-to-robotic interaction as well. And it must address major application sectors. Regarding the scope is integrating novel robotics technology with advanced capabilities into solutions. And there is a number of requirements specified under the scope. So the proposal should take into account the social science and humanities expertise from the design stage. It's important to include, in this respect, to take into account the interaction, the human-robot interaction, the intelligibility, the robot action, and the trustworthiness and the acceptability of the systems. And this is why the SSH expertise is needed. Secondly, the proposals must target real end user needs, so they must be application driven, which means this leads us to the third one, that the test must be done in highly realistic environments or even in real-world scenarios. And finally, the added value must be demonstrated to have substantial impact, and also the scalability and the short-term deployment potential must be demonstrated. All proposals are expected to demonstrate added value of the robotics to the application chosen application by reaching a technology readiness level of 6, 7 at the end of the project. And this must be done by using qualitative and quantitative industrial service related KPIs, or by using appropriate demonstrations, benchmarking, and progress monitoring. More hints about the scope. If we are talking about shared workspaces between robots and humans, you must pay special attention to safety, dependability, and to the efficient and intuitive interaction between the robots and humans. When we are talking about human-centered environments, it's important to take into account the interdisciplinary aspects of the actions. So the technical aspects and together with the social science and humanities aspects of the proposals. They must involve workers, professionals, the interaction design must be done in a trustworthy, using trustworthy AI. Finally, as I said, the actions can embed configuration and deployment tools. They are encouraged to allow a fast deployability of the systems and easy reconfiguration. Sorry. Final aspect regarding the scope. The proposal should have a high impact, should target high impact sectors. They must include use cases where the technology can demonstrate maximum added value. The proposal should focus on one use case, either or with high impact, by choosing a major sector with high socioeconomic environmental impact, for instance, to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of products, processes, services, or the use cases trying to improve human working conditions, trying to keep workers away from unsafe or unhealthy jobs. In general, for these two topics, what we are looking for is a step change, not just incremental progress, but we are looking for step changes, also be ambitious, really focusing on physical capability in the case of innovation actions, high impact sectors or use cases, so major benefits, and we would like to get proposals fostering a high visibility of robotics and artificial intelligence. And also, it's important to take into account the multidisciplinary aspects of the actions, which must be dictated by the project needs, including the technology, the development versus the user needs and the needs of the use cases. What do we not want? What we do not is modest progress, just incremental progress, application of limited impact, invented or technology push problems. So the problems must be realistic, as I have said already several times. Artificial multidisciplinarity, or action not driven by the project objectives. As a summary, what are we looking for? Or for all topics presented, the project are requested to dedicate a task to connect to the CSA or for the PPP on AI, data, and robotics, to build on reuse results from previous funded actions, to connect with digital innovation hubs, with existing European networks of digital innovation hubs, to build on the AI on-demand platform and other existing platforms, and to put their communicable results on the AI on-demand platforms and other platforms as well, if you find it opportune, so that we maximize the outreach of the project results. Thank you very much. This finishes my presentation, so I give you the floor now to my colleague Evangelia Marquido, who is going to present the Human 0201 and Human 0202 topics. Evangelia, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Antonio. So basically, these are the last two topics that we are going to present here, and they're listed under Destination 6 of Cluster 4, so the leadership in AI based on trust. And the first topic is the AI for human empowerment, and I'll show you the next slide what it actually entails. Antonio, I don't know if you can help me with moving to the next slides, because I think you are sharing the...
Yes, I'm going to share the screen again. So I share the screen for you, you mean?
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So I'll, one moment. Okay. This is the next slide.
Yes, and then the next one. So thank you. So as I said, this is the first one. We can move to the next slide, so where we can show you also the budget table, and no, the budget table I think is on another slide. So what are we looking for in this particular topic? We are looking into the next level of perception, visualization, interaction, but also collaboration. More importantly, more collaboration between the humans and AI technologies and systems that can work together to achieve common goals, share mutual understanding, and learn of each other's abilities and respective roles. So we look also in innovative and promising approaches that will include also the human in the loop in these things, for really truly mixed human AI initiatives that combine the best of both human and machine intelligence and knowledge and capabilities, and also allow for tacit knowledge extraction. What are we also looking for in the next slide is, and this is something I saw also in the messages. So when we want you to focus on one or several of the scopes or the expected outcomes, we clearly mention it in the topic descriptions. Here in this, for example, topic, we expect proposals to focus either on A or B, so either on to reaching truly mixed human AI initiatives for human empowerment, or looking into trustworthy hybrid decision support systems. The next slide then will go what we mean with A, the reaching truly mixed human AI initiative. So combining, as I said, the best of machine and human knowledge and capabilities, including shared and sliding autonomy in interaction, addressing reactivity and fluidity of interaction, and making systems more transparent, fair, and intuitive to use. We expect also systems to adapt to the user, really taking user particularities into account rather than the opposite. Where the proposed systems can, based on analysis, understanding, and anticipation of human behavior and expectations. And on the next slide for the second topic, we're looking into trustworthy hybrid decision support systems with a mixed and sliding decision making for context interpretation, reliability, human-centric planning, and decision making, taking into account interdependencies, and allow also for augmented decision making. Very important here as well, transparency, fairness, and technical accuracy and robustness of those systems, together with validation strategies to assess the quality of the decision of the AI-supported socio-technical system. On the next slide, also what we want, what is important for this particular topic is, on the one hand, the human-centric approach. So we really look for multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary approaches that pay particular attention to intersectional factors relevant to stimulate indeed the novel research avenues in that field, and to as an end goal, improve the user acceptance of such systems. We're looking into collaborative design and evaluation with the true involvement of the users, and that should be considered. Now, the second bullet point is important. This is the first, this is a pilot for this topic. We really expect proposals to dedicate part of their activities, of the work tasks, on investigating novel ways to engage with citizens or citizen representatives in the AI development, with a view to optimize the experience towards improving the usability and experience for citizens, both for at the professional but also the daily life environment. So we will really look in the proposals, and we will potential proposals have to really make sure that there are resources and tasks dedicated to this aspect. It's a pilot for this, but as we said, for all AI topics, but also the topics that my colleague presented earlier, the trustworthiness and the user acceptance is important, and we believe, especially when it comes to collaborative intelligence and this type of projects and research, that we need really to engage with the end users as well. So this is something that we will pay particular attention to. Next slide. So this is again on one slide, the two topics where the focus should be. So proposals have to clearly focus on clearly have to mention the main focus, because this, of course, will then also in the end, we will see also with the ranking, but it could be that some proposals might target both, but in the proposal, you clearly have to identify the main focus area of your proposal. And of course, we have to see the proposals have to demonstrate the potential benefits of what they are proposing. And as I said, as a main objective is really that we want to develop a human-centered and trustworthy AI. Next slide. The last but not least topic for today is the European Network of AI Excellence Centers, expanding the European AI Lighthouse. We started this endeavor in Horizon 2020, where we are funding now the first 4 networks of excellence centers and 1 CSA that supports them. And we started also in 21 with 1 network of excellence center with a call on safe and secure AI. The focus now of the second call now in 22 will be really to improve and to progress in AI, address major challenges that hamper its deployment, including systems engineering, and to eventually, together also with the ongoing efforts and networks, to build the European AI Lighthouse that was, as I said, initiated in 2020. So in the Horizon 2020 program, we also want to see a unification and a reinforcement of the world-class European AI community that exists in Europe, and to create really this strong links. So yeah, the strong and vibrant AI community in Europe. Next slide then. As I said again, it's really, really important that we want to see in the proposals how the proposals reinforce the network and the excellence centers in AI, bring really the best scientists from academia and industry to join forces and to really tackle major AI challenges. And of course, the ultimate goal is really to reinforce excellence through collaboration in AI throughout Europe and really build the ecosystem of excellence in AI that we want to achieve in Europe. Next slide. So the focus, the technology focus this time is really, I would say, rather broad. It's the next generation of AI. So we're really looking into foundational research and emerging novel approaches with a view to improve the technical performances of AI-based systems. We look into new paradigms and algorithms, architectures, and novel optimization and regularization methods, hybrid AI, hybrid machine learning, data, and improve also data and sample efficiency. We also want to see that the scientific research and technologies that are prioritized in the suite of the AI data and robotics partnership are taken into account. And of course, we want to see complementary efforts to what is already funded, either through Horizon 2020, as I said, the ongoing networks of excellence centers, but also the excellence network of excellence center that is funded, will be funded under Horizon Europe 21 called, the one with a focus on safe and secure AI. So it has to be complementary, but as I said, we're looking really into the next generation of AI systems. Next slide. So what we do not want to see is we don't want to see scientific progress that is disconnected from industry needs or from societal challenges. We don't want to see incremental kind of progress or any kind of lack of ambition. And we don't want to see a purely technical approach. For it's very important that societal, that SSH is taken into account. So social science and humanities is very important. The gender dimension is equally important, as you will see also in the topic description. These are the aspects that we want to see. We want to really see world-class expertise in AI, and this is something that you will have to demonstrate in the proposal, why the consortium and the key people working in this proposal are world-class in the particular areas that you target in your proposal. And we really want to see kind of, we do not want to see disjoint efforts, which means we really want to see joint efforts, as we said, the bringing together, unifying and reinforcing the AI community around Europe. Next slide. So what is new? I mean, the first topic, the one with AI for human empowerment, is a totally new topic. We will follow up in this towards this avenue also in the upcoming work programs. What is an ongoing exercise, as I said, because it's part of building the European AI Lighthouse, is the call on the network of AI excellence centers, and all topics are relevant to the PPP, to the public-private partnership. And we also want to see in the proposals tasks allocate to the proposals to allocate tasks to contribute to the private-public partnership. There's also a CSA coordination support action that will start, that will also support the partnership, and we want proposals to collaborate with them. Equally important, we want to really see also efforts and tasks, allocated tasks, to contribute and collaborate with the European AI on Demand platform. Next slide. I think these are all slides. We can skip them. So yes, the previous slide. So what are the next events that we are planning? There is going to be, at least planned for the moment, the European Research and Innovation Days on the 28th and 29th September of 22, where you will get also first glance at what we are proposing for Horizon Europe Work Program 2023 and 2024. And as I said, you have a big opportunity to shape the future work programs and research priorities to be funded under Horizon Europe by joining the Adra. So this is a call for you. If you really want to shape it, join the partnership and the AI Data and Robotics Association. And with that, I think we are closing our presentation and we can open up for questions and answers. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Evangelia. Indeed, there are some questions. Okay, so let me phrase them to you. So we have for Antonio a question regarding topic 5, so emerging 5. So yes. You made a reference to that you don't want anything artificial. Can you clarify a bit more what you mean with that?
Well, the idea is that projects must be based on real industrial needs. So this topic is focusing on industry optimization. So the actions should be based on use cases of real industries, not potential problems that don't exist.
Okay.
We try to avoid, let's say, academic exercises, trying to explore something that is not connected to industrial problems. Is that clear, or should I be more specific?
I think it clarified it a little bit, at least to me. Otherwise, I mean, there will be, if more precision is needed, then invite the participant to ask a more detailed question in the chat. So to stay with the topic 5, so there is a question if it's desirable to include cross-sector use cases or is it advised to include different sectors?
It's not essential. One sector could be enough to address well this topic. But anyway, if there are cross-sectoral approaches because the type of action may affect several sectors, of course it's allowed too, but it's not essential.
Okay, thank you. So then there's another, so we stay on topic 5. There's quite a number of questions on these. So the call text says that for the case of manufacturing duplication with destination 1, topics are excluded. Since this call may appear somehow similar with few twin transition calls, could you elaborate a bit on which kind of overlap should be avoided?
Sorry, I don't understand well the question.
So in the calls text, it says that so the topic 5 should avoid overlap with the topics that are described in destination 1, or that the part are of destination 1's. In particular, so the twin transition calls. So the person that asked the question, so they'd like you to elaborate a bit what kind of overlap between the twin transitions call and the topic 5 should be avoided. Does it make it more clear? Antonio, are you still with us? Seems there is a connection issue. So Evangelia, would you eventually be able to answer?
Or we wait until Antonio is back and you give me the questions on the topics that I presented. Maybe that would be easier because maybe also Antonio is looking into the topic description.
Okay. All right. So we also have a number of questions for you. So there's a question on human 0201. So the next level of perception, visualization, interaction, and collaboration, humans and AI systems working together to achieve common goals, sharing mutual understanding and learning of each other's abilities and respective roles. Can you give 1 or 2 examples of what you intend as common goals?
That depends, I think, on the system that you put in place and in which sector, if it's healthcare or whatever. I think in the end of the day, we say common goals because we see the systems and AI together with humans as one kind of team. And the common goal is, of course, the objective of that tool. So I don't think I have per se now immediately an example, and I'm not an expert in collaborative intelligence. But I mean, this is what we would see kind of as a common goal, the kind of in which context a human would then use collaborate together with an AI system to improve a specific outcome. I mean.
Okay. Another question on human 0201. Are you looking for a unique platform across different sectors, manufacturing, media, etc., or a set of solutions to be included in the AI for EU platform? And can you confirm the budget per proposal and the total for the topic?
I don't know if it's a particular question on the AI on demand platform. Generally, what we want to see is also that any kind of open resources or kind of aspects, data sets can be also published or make available through the on-demand platform. So we are not looking for platforms to be made available. And in the end of the day, it depends on each proposal, what they want to propose. What we want to see definitely in proposals is dedicated tasks or resources to one, collaborate with the on-demand platform and also the public-private partnership. Now, as to the budgets, these are estimated budgets. That does not mean that a proposal does not propose something else. So it's an estimated EU contribution for a topic description, but any proposal project can request a budget that it considers appropriate for the work that they're proposing. In the end of the day, we will have to see, of course, with the total budget available per a topic and the ranking, how many of the projects proposals we can actually fund.
Okay, thank you. So then another question on human 0201, but maybe it's also more general. So the question is, if it's possible for entities without legal personality to join a consortium?
Now, that, as I said, is the one with the pilot where we want to see citizens involved, but the citizens per se will not be the ones that will be partners or one of the beneficiaries of the proposal, because it's true, you can only join, be part of the consortium if you have a legal entity and if you have everything validated within the system. But we do not see the end users and the citizens participating as beneficiaries, but we want to see their involvement in one way or another, and that depends on each proposal and each consortium to what extent they want to include the citizens in the proposal and in the project actually then.
Okay, thank you. So then on the AI Human Empowerment Program, should we include an industry partner or can the research team consist of only university partners?
Well, I mean, given the topic, we want to, of course, to see also, I think, industry, and I think the full description you can find in the topic description on the call text. We want to see, as I said, interdisciplinarity, but in the end of the day, if you want to test any kind of a system, you know, where you see, I mean, that bringing the two worlds together, you can really improve. It has to be in some kind of use cases, in some kind of sector. So we definitely see industry be part of that consortium. So I don't see how you would like to organize this without any industry involvement in the project.
Okay, thank you. I see we have Antonio back.
Yes, I am back.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I have lost the connection. I have to reconnect again, but I'm back. I remember you were making a question regarding overlapping with other topics, but I didn't understand the question well. This was the point where I lost the connection.
Right. So apparently, so in the call text, so it says that so in destination 2, the twin transition calls. So the call mentions that it's to be avoided to overlap with these calls or these topics.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that asked the question, so they ask you to elaborate a bit of what kind of overlap you expect to be avoided.
Well, but this is an specification of the twin transition. It's not a specification of these topics, I guess. Because I don't know much about the twin transition topics.
Okay. So let's keep the question for the moment, and then maybe later on, and the person that asked the question can be more specific.
Yes, perhaps I can answer at the end, because I would need to have a look to these twin transition topics.
Okay.
So please, next question.
So then another question on topic 5: is it possible to provide us with a sector example of what production and services and service mean?
Well, actually, this is the usual meaning of industrial production means production of physical goods. Industrial services mean any type of activity not related to the production of physical goods. So in production, of course, you can include manufacturing or all type of factories, either continuous or discrete processes, but producing any type of goods. And for services is both services addressed to industries, for instance, logistics, maintenance, etc., but also services addressed to consumers and end users. So it is actually very wide, this the scope.
Okay, thank you. So another question is about, so you mentioned the abbreviation DDD. So it was not entirely, so you explained it, but the question, if you could explain it once more, because not everybody understood.
Well, DDD is a usual concept of robotics, which mean one type of the tasks that robotics can do. And these are activities which are are not suitable for humans because they are painful, in the sense that they can be dull, dirty, or dangerous. For instance, dangerous activities could be moving heavy payloads or activities connected with cutting metal, for instance. Regarding dirty, it's very common, for instance, in welding, where there are in our welding activities there is the production of gases that can be unhealthy for the human worker, and that is monotonous and repetitive activities which are typically assumed by robots. And to that we added the activities which are strenuous, also for human. So robots replacing humans in this type of activities which are rather painful for human workers.
Okay. So then we have a question still on 0205. So the last slide was not entirely clear. So you mentioned, so this is on the FSTP part. So both small, focused, and large FSTP projects. So let me encourage good FSTP as well. So does it mean that small projects are not expected to include FSTP in the topic?
Yes, this is true. Small projects, so we are suggesting two size of projects. One, about 3 million euros, which are the focus projects, which are small, and they do not include financial support to third parties, FSTP. And the larger projects, about 5 million, which must include FSTP. At least 20% of the budget. So there will be one group of small focus projects without the FSTP, and another group of larger projects with FSTP.
Okay, thank you.
And this is a choice to be done by the proposers.
All right. Still on 0205. So there's a note in the work program which says, note in the case of manufacturing, duplication with destination 1 topics are excluded. So I guess that's the topic we discussed before. Therefore, proposal in this topic should demonstrate that they address topics different from those addressed in destination 1 topics. Yeah. The question is to elaborate a bit more of what this means, if possible.
Yeah, in that case, unfortunately, I cannot answer clearly because I must have a look to what destination 1 specifies.
Okay, yeah, very good.
All right.
All right. Okay, so then we have a question about topic 7.
Yes.
So is it mandatory to include the FSTP? So in relation to topic 7, and so actually there are 2 questions. So first is it mandatory to include final support to third parties in topic 7?
In topic 7, yes. No, FSTP is mandatory for all projects.
Okay.
In topic 5 is an option. We have a small focus projects without FSTP. In topic 7, all the projects must have FSTP. At least.
Okay. And regarding topic 6, is there a risk that applications addressing only one expected outcome will be kind of penalized?
In topic 6, you mean?
In topic 6, yeah.
Yeah. No. At least one scope must be addressed. Only one is enough. There may be good proposals. There's always a debate when we offer the possibility of having more, that the risk of having more scopes is to make proposals which are less specific. So it's the typical compromise between the depth and the width of the action. One scope is enough. That's.
And so you would advise to only address one scope, or you would also, I mean, if your proposal addresses both scopes, that will
it's not. You can address both at the same time, but there is a risk that in that case, the depth and the level of interest of the proposals is diminished by the fact of trying to have a too broad a scope. So probably it's better to focus in only one. If proposers chosen to go for both, they must be sure that they have interesting material for both scopes. The original idea is receiving most of the proposal addressing only one of the scopes.
Mm-hmm. So then there's a question if you can elaborate on the major differences between the expected results in the topic 5 and topic 7.
Well, in principle, they address different aspects. In one area, we are focusing more on industry optimization, whereas in topic 7, one moment, we are focusing more on the robotics capabilities. So in topic 7, we are looking more on the technology. Topic 5 focus more on the application, on the industry optimization.
Okay.
It is true that there is a certain overlap. Certain projects could fit on both topics.
Right.
It's up to the proposers to choose on which topic the project fits better.
Right.
In some cases, it will be pretty clear, and in doubt-proof cases, the proposers should think about which topic is better. What is clear is that they cannot submit the same project to do both topics. They must choose only one.
Mm-hmm. So then a question on topic 7, 0 to 7. So robotics, can these include drones and IoT? And also if the environmental monitoring could be considered as a key sector. So there's 2 questions here.
For the topic 7, drones for sure can be included. IoT, if IoT is integrated into robots, yes. If it's IoT isolated, so there is no actuation capacity, for instance, measuring devices, a meter. This is not a robot, obviously, even though it's IoT in there, is not the target of this topic. But IoT as such, as an element more to be added to robots, so robots with IoT capacities, yes. Also, you said another question regarding environmental.
Yeah, so the question is if the environmental monitoring could be considered a key sector.
Yes, it can. It can be.
All right. Okay, so then we have a topic on, I guess that's human 0201. So I guess that's in Evangelia. Is it requested or preferred that the proposed project can be applied in more than one sector, for example, healthcare and mobility, or are sector-specific proposals also welcome?
If it's not specified in the topic description, I think we leave it up to the consortia what they want to propose. I mean, it's always difficult to keep this balance between being too prescriptive but allow for innovative ideas. So we are looking for innovative ideas, and if based on the proposal idea, you can demonstrate it in more than one sectors. Of course, it makes sense to demonstrate it in more. It depends really on each proposal and what in which area they want to improve it, and whether it's enough to demonstrate it in one sectors or in several. We really want to see, I think, innovative ideas and how you want best to demonstrate the innovation and the work that you will do.
All right, so then I have a general question on how do you expect proposals to connect with digital innovation hubs in practice? Can you elaborate on the requirement, make use of connection to DYHs?
No, it's difficult unless it's specifically described in one of the topics. What we really want to make sure is that proposals do take advantage of all the other instruments and other activities that are funded by the European Commission, like, for example, the digital innovation hubs, where a majority of them are focusing on AI, but also on robotics. So where it makes sense, they should kind of really connect with them. And it depends probably if it's an innovation action or not. It makes more sense, of course, for innovation actions, but in any case we want to see proposals to make really effort to connect with the other kind of activities in order also to kind of network, but also to further disseminate and collaborate with those kind of initiatives.
All right. Then one more question for Antonio on the topic 6. So is it possible to improve the robustness and physical capabilities of robots using software solution alone, or is this possible, or it should be
yes,
software?
It is possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. For instance, if just to give an example, if there are techniques dealing with robot operating systems or middlewares, or improving the perception capacities by using data fusion, which is mostly software. It doesn't include necessarily mechatronics. So obviously there must be a robot, but an existing robot. So the development is not based on the mechatronics part of the robot. It's only focusing on the software part of the robot. But yes, approaches dealing only with softwares are allowed.
Okay. Let me check. Okay, so there's still a question on topic 6. So if it's possible to address only one of the 3 expected outcomes. So let me read the question, because I'm sorry, it's still unclear to me. We can focus on addressing only one of the 3 outcomes, and we can focus on only one of the scopes, or physical capabilities, or developing promising innovative concepts. Is that correct?
Yes, it is possible. For topic 0C, using name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, it is possible. It's clearly specified. The proposal results are expected to contribute to at least one, which is means that only one is allowed.
Okay, one other topic, 5 is the agri-food sector. So this includes robotic monitoring a key sector, or we should focus in a more industrial sector?
It should focus more on industrial sector. So agri-food is more primary sector, and we are referring to industrial sector, which is secondary, or service sector, which is the tertiary. So agri-food is excluded, except if you mean to food transformation industries or food processing industries. Food processing industries are included, but precision farming, for instance, is excluded.
Okay. So, okay, we're receiving another question. Are proposals addressing nuclear, in addition to other industries exploring synergies, welcome here? For example, topic 5 or 7, or should they be rather targeted in Euratom?
That depends very much. What is the focus of the research and development? If the research and development is focusing on nuclear aspects, of course, they should go to Euratom. If the research and development is focusing on robotics aspects, for instance, may I think about harsh environments after a nuclear accident, where you deployed robots for emergency and rescue activities in a nuclear environment, this is perfectly admissible in some of our topics. But the main R&D activities must be focused on the robots themselves. So the nuclear provides just the context, the environment for the action of the robots.
Right, understood. Okay, so then on topic 6, so what do you mean precisely with physical intelligence?
We are talking about the application of artificial intelligence to the robot, to a physical device. Physical devices acting in an intelligent way by using of artificial intelligence techniques.
Okay.
For instance, by interacting with humans or having a good knowledge representation of its environment and context, to be able to adapt to different situations, and so on.
Okay. Another one on topic 6. Is an autonomous vessel considered a robot in this topic?
Could be. Yes, it can be. An autonomous vessel can be a robot.
Okay. So I think we have answered all questions. So there's one I see. Can you elaborate on the amount of research expected in the innovation actions 025 and 027? You mentioned that a major research component is undesirable, but this leaves a lot of room for speculation about what is and what is not expected. Even if an industrial partner wants to use my algorithm in a specific problem, there's inevitably a certain amount of uncertainty about whether it will work or not, which requires research to address.
Yeah, this is a difficult question that is it's very frequent. Basically, this means to the difference between what a research and innovation action is compared to an innovation action. Research and innovation actions should focus on research activities where the research component plays a big role in the action. However, in innovation actions, what we try is not to develop new knowledge, but applying this knowledge to new situations or new industries where it had not been applied before. So the focus is more on the application rather than in developing new science, new scientific methods, for instance, for, let's say, making knowledge representation of the environment. Just a typical case. Building the research, making activities on the research for that knowledge representation would be more the focus of a research and innovation action, while applying the results and the structure of that research in a specific industry would be an innovation action. I don't know if my explanation is clear enough.
Yes.
So obviously, even in innovation actions, at the moment of making the application, sometimes it's needed to make a small amounts of research about how to apply or transfer research results to innovative developments. Small amounts of research are always allowed. There is no problem. But the main focus must be in the technology transfer, not in the research itself. And this is clear. This is consequent with the TRL levels that we are targeting. In areas we are targeting from 2 to 3 up to 4 or 5, whereas in innovation actions we are targeting much higher the TRL levels. In addition, this may condition the composition of the consortium. While in research and innovation actions is perfectly acceptable to have a consortium which is mostly integrated by research organizations and universities, in innovation actions is essential to have use case providers and integrators. Otherwise, it's not that credible that we are focusing on that the proposal is focusing on technology transfer.
Okay, so I think that was clear. So the person asking the question is happy with your answer. So I think there's one more question about, but I think it's more addressed to the next presenter. So it's about how to network and build consortia together. So this will be the topic of the next presentation. So I hope we addressed all questions. If we missed any one, we'll go over them and we'll try to answer them offline and get back to you with any answers. So here I'd like to thank our colleagues from the Commission, Evangelia and Antonio, for explaining the topics for us. So your presence was much appreciated. And so with that, I think we'll move on to the next topics. So maybe, because there were also some questions for the people that were pitching this later this session. So we will promote you to speaker once it's your turn to pitch. So please make sure that the name, that your correct name is advertised so we can find you in the list of participants. All right, so then I'd like to introduce Jérôme Gayou from Lux Innovation for a presentation from the Ideal-ist network and their brokerage tool. So Jérôme, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joost. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you and we see your presentation.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the people watching this Infodays. My name is Jérôme. I'm the national contact point and the delegate for Cluster 4 to Horizon Europe. And I'm here to present to you cross-border services that we are offering as national contact point. So after this series of Infodays and info sessions, you maybe feel a little bit swamped with all the information you just received. And you might be wondering that feels like maybe too much. Well, I'm here to say you are not alone. And that's basically the role of the national contact point. I'm here actually to present two services that we have put in place for supporting you in participating to the calls that has just been prepared. The first one is the obvious one, the online brokerage event that I'm going to present to you in a minute. But I would like to bring your attention to the biggest one, which is the full proposal checks. I hope I can keep your attentions high enough for getting your interest on these services. Next slide, please. Okay, so of course you might wonder, who the hell is that guy who is talking to me? I probably see him already in one of those networking, but I don't remember well. So next slide. Well, we are the project for the European project funded by the European Commission for cross-border national contact point services. We have here a video, but I don't know if you can make it work.
So we checked, and unfortunately, it was not working, Jérôme.
Ah, damn it. Well, then can you please go to the next slide, please? That's going to be easier. So we are actually national experts officially mandated by the European Commission to bring you support in participating to Horizon Europe. And some of us are also mandated for extra other European programs. So it's mainly national individuals based in every country. So we speak your language, we speak your national language, and we are, the project that I'm representing today is involving more than 48 countries. I had to say, maybe you see it in the list below, that we used to be very well in good terms with Belarus, NCP. At the moment, it's suspended for obvious reasons, and we have no connections with Russia so far. But please remember that we are the longest serving national contact point project, and we are spanning over more than 48 countries, far beyond Europe. Next slide, please. And what we are offering is we are offering transnational support to applicants. So you might be familiar with your national contact points and with the service that your national contact point is offering to you as national participant. But there will be one moment when you build the proposals for a European project when you will have to go at an extra level, which is the European level. And as from this moment where the national jurisdiction stops. Well, thanks to the funding from the European Commission in these projects, we are able all together to offer extra services, cross-border services to you. And we are really here to support you in any aspect in the applicant. Next slide, please. So very briefly, next slide. The services that we are offering. You have here a snapshots of the services that we are usually offering. We are offering a partner match search. We are organizing training, seminar, and webinars, most of the time in relation with the European Commissions. So we participate to the Infodays, we communicate on them. We organize specific trainings on thematics, or even sometimes on the topics themselves. We organize brokerage events. We have a toolbox for proposers, which gather just actually a series of analyses, a series of support tools for building a proposal, for example, the budget, or for understanding better the topics. We have specific notifications, so some marketing and communications for digital-oriented informations. We work very closely with BDVA, ITSA, Adra in general, I should say. We have a very good cooperation. And we are also organizing proposal checks and full proposal review, and then come to that in a minute. But before doing that, I would like to bring you to your attention to the last service that we have, which is called the topic tree, which is actually a mapping of all the topics related to digital, but also not just the topics that are currently open, but also the topics that used to be open. The idea of this topic is just this topic tree is just to visually represent the evolutions of the topic among the time, and to understand that what you apply today for this call that's going to be in November, well, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes with an history. It comes with a background. It comes with actually a series of portfolios of projects that has been pushed forward. The topic tree is a visualization tool for these evolutions, and it's available for you on our website. You can freely go and use it. Next slide, please. Of course, our main activities, or at least the flagship, one of the biggest visible activities, is a brokerage event. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, they were online brokerage events, which actually bring me to the next slide. We have just opened a virtual brokerage event for you, which is now online, where you can go just registered under your profile and set up partner search or ID dissemination, project ID disseminations, and you can book meetings with proposers. This online, you have the website on the bottom right of your screens. The second URL is not yet working, but it will work soon. So for the moment, don't worry, just use the big one. And what I would like to inform you is that this brokerage event, we deploy it in cooperation with Adra and the European Commission. It's going to be set in place until the close of the deadline. So basically, if you enter today a profile, this profile will be up and running until the close of the project. You can have project ID, you can express expertise, and you can also just share requests. And you can organize meetings thanks to this marketplace. It's open. I can only invite you to already register if you are looking for specific expertise. And I can only invite you also to go have a look for maybe partner consortium looking for partners. Next slide, please. But the main flagship services that we have successfully sustained during the pandemic is the full proposal check. The full proposal check is a specific service offered by Ideal-ist where we are mimicking the evaluations. So basically, you're going to have in the next slide the presentation, but basically we are inviting coordinators of proposals to submit your advanced draft in advance to us, and we are hiring experts, evaluators, experts that are used to run evaluations for the European Commission, and they do an evaluations like in the same context of an evaluation with the European Commission, and they give you feedbacks. They give you feedback so that you can improve your proposals for the final and complete evaluation. I'd like to bring your attention that we work just with Adra and Robotics to find dates that would not be clashing with anything, and we have established a date to the 24 and 28 October 2022. I'll come back to that in a minute, but can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So, what is this full proposal check? Well, you can see on the top right of your screen the score distribution coming from a digital call. I think it was a 2019 call, maybe I'm mistaken, but you can see justly that you need more and more a higher score to be funded. I don't think this comes as a news to you, but we see that it's more and more difficult to get funded, even if you have a very excellent proposal. Well, sometimes excellence is no longer enough. You need to go higher. So the idea of these services is just to try to get even better proposals, more than excellent proposals. And you can see on the bottom left, just see how we run those. We used to run online this FPC. So it's a mock evaluation, really. It's a mock evaluation of your proposal. You send us your advanced draft. We give it to, if it's well advanced enough, and if we judge it a good quality enough for an added value of these services, we give it to experts. They review it, and those experts are telling you what they think are the weaknesses of your proposal, what they think are, oh, these things was not clear, it would not pass in an evaluation. They will give you advice, and you can enter in conversation with them. On the bottom right, you can see the timeline that we have established. So today we are at the Adra Infoday. We're going to organize with the help of EU Robotics at the end of this month also a specific ID check with our friends from EU Robotics at the ERF. For your information, in case you are involved, we are also organizing an FPC for Cluster 1 and Cluster 6 topic at the end of July, but that is just because there is some in these two clusters and the call for September, there are some topics related to digital. So in case you are already involved in those, just know that we are organizing the same services for Cluster 1 and Cluster 6. But what is the most important for you is what is on the right after the little sun representing the summer. We will run, the deadline will be the 7th of November, and we will cover the two calls inside Cluster 4, so the one on digital emerging and the one on human. So that means you're also going to be covering artificial intelligence, but also we're going to be covering the graphene call. And we are currently in discussions to also cover the cybersecurity call inside Cluster 3 because the deadline is the same. This is just take this information as we scare because we're not sure yet. We are in discussions with our colleagues from Cluster 3 for establishing it. But what does it mean from you? That means that because we have decided the 24 to the 29 October, that means that the FPC, the full proposal check, will be 3 weeks ahead of the deadline. What does that mean for you? That means that if you want to benefit from these services, you must, in your retro planning, in your organization of proposal, you must have an advanced draft of your proposals 3 weeks ahead of the deadline. And I know this is something challenging because we know how you work. Huh? Well, it's not like we are discovering that you all work all on the last weeks of the call. Now, here, if you want to benefit from the FPC, that means that you should already think that my almost finished proposal should be end of October and not mid-November. Next slide, please. And so what does it mean for you? How can you benefit? Well, if you're a coordinator, well, you must retro-plan because you must be able to send us an advanced draft for end of October. Actually, to be more fair, I should say mid-October also, because end of October is when we're going to do the FPC. Mid-October is when we're going to do the selections of the proposal that's going to go through the SPV. If you're a partner and you think that this is an interesting services for your proposals, well, you're going to need to poke your coordinator for that. Just poke him and tell him that, oh, that could be an interesting services. We would like to participate, so be aware about that. Finally, also, if you are an expert, because we are making this review by external evaluator for the credibility of these services, we are looking for volunteers experts. People that have been who have been at least participating twice in an evaluation from the European Commissions to become our evaluators. And I'd like to say this, we are paying you for these services. This is not a free services that you give for supporting. No, as an expert that will be selected, we are paying you. And it's a lump sum per proposal that you're going to be reviewed. And finally, if I can ask for your help, is that since we are looking for evaluators and you might have some conflict of interest because yourself you're participating to proposals, we'd like to ask you to disseminate these informations. We ask you to disseminate the fact that we're looking for an expression of interest of proposals. However, we ask you to do it discreetly. Do not share it in a newsletter, please, because otherwise we know the quality of the candidature we are receiving are dropping. So if you knew somebody, one of your colleagues who has been doing a couple of evaluations with the European Commissions in digital topics, we would appreciate if you can just maybe pass the message that we are looking for evaluators and it's a paid services. So he or she will be paid for providing these services. Next slide, please. How to find us? And next slide, please. Well, you can go and see our website. We obviously are also in the social media, and we are also on YouTube. So I would like to just invite you to, if you are, go and have a look at the video we made to present ourselves, which is 1 minute 50 seconds. So it's not so long, and you can see that what are the different type of services we're offering. And I think that's concluded my presentation. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes. Well, thank you very much for your attention. So again, please remember to wrap up that the virtual Agora is open for you to make a brokerage place and to look for partners. It's now open and running till the closing of the call. And end of October, we will be organizing in cooperation with Adra. We will be organizing a full proposal checks for your services. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much, Joost, and thank you very much, Adra, for giving us the opportunity to present these services.
Thanks to you, Jero, for presenting the Ideal-ist network. So do you have time for answering some questions? So we received some questions from the participants.
Definitely, if there are.
Yeah, sure. So let me read them to you. So the question is, so who do we need to contact the national contact point for a full proposal check, or how is this going to work?
Yeah, you can. Well, my advice would be you can always contact your national contact points, whatever it is. But we will soon launch a website where you're going to be able to register. It was not yet ready today, so that's why we didn't share the link. But it's going to be made online soon, and we hope we agreed with discussions with the rest of the of Adra that they're going to communicate in their newsletter the participations this website. So you can contact your national contact points. For letting them know. You can contact me. You have my emails on the bottom of these slides. And obviously, the website will be launched soon.
Okay, thank you. There's one more question on the evaluation services. Is this free of charge for the proposers?
Yeah. Oh, I'm very sorry. I should have said it's indeed. Yes, it's completely free. It's free for the participant. It's the evaluators that participate as experts are paid, and I hope that you can understand that in those cases we are making a selection process. The last FPC that we did in May 2020 was very successful. We received more than 120 expression of interest. So we really select the proposal that are the most advanced, the proposal that are the most finished, and for which we can see that the FPC will provide an added value services.
Okay, and so if you have a suggestion for a possible evaluator, so who do we contact?
Me, please send to me on the email address that you see here. But again, we agree with Adra that there's going to be a launch, an expression of interest for evaluator that's going to be sent in a more discreet way. But if you have an expert, or if you want people listening wants to be expert, please send me an email.
Okay, yeah, so that was another question as well. If we could apply ourselves or also, that is what you answered.
Yeah, you must know, if I can just add this, that we ask evaluators to sign a code of conduct, and which asks them to mention if there is a conflict of interest. That doesn't mean that you can't participate to the evaluation, but that means that we will be careful to not give you a proposal which might be a competitions with on the same topics. So we are trying our best. We are not the commission for that. The commission has a far much better tools for evaluating those conflict of interest. But it's a trustful relationships here with evaluators and with the proposers. So if it doesn't work, well, then next times we won't call you back.
Okay, so then the last question. So you have this brokerage platform where people can present their project ideas and their competence profiles. So you're also participating in organizing, helping organize info sessions as the one we do today. I mean, so after this session, we have presentations of people presenting their ideas and their expertise to participate in the topics. So I understand these type of events are also happening on national levels. So how can we find out about these?
That's a very good question. I'm going to be honest, I don't have an exact answer to that. My best answer would be, I would like to invite you to contact your national contact points, because they should be aware about the national brokerage sessions organized, if they are not organizing it themselves. So yeah, sorry, I cannot say more on this because I don't know. Okay, well, that's an answer too. Okay, so thanks a lot, Jérôme. So I think we'll be moving on then to the next part of this session. So the pitches. So we have a list of people that submitted a presentation. Okay, so I don't think we have a list on the slide. So what we'll do is, so I'll name the first 2 or 3 to come up, and then you turn on your screen, your microphone, and you give your pitch. So all of the pitches are 3 minutes, and so normally all the presentations will be shared with the participants. All right. So the first 3 presentations are, so the first is Panos Ilias from Ilvo. Just after that is Tatu Lietianen, the Gym Robotics. And then we have Kai Södegaard from VTT. So Panos Ilias, are you there?
Yes, hello, and thank you for the opportunity to pitch today on behalf of my organization. I'm Panos Ilias. I'm a researcher in the Food and Technology Unit of Ilvo. Ilvo is a Flemish Research Institute for Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, linked to the Flemish government. And the last few years, my main research topic have been related to agricultural data sharing development of data spaces in agri-food, deployment of AI services, and the design and building of platforms like Just Connect, which deliver data sharing service in the agri-food sector. I also want to mention that since the beginning of May 22, I'm leading the BDVA task force in agri-food, which is a sector-specific task force of BDVA. Next slide, please. Yes. There are two goals we are investing as an institute, the 05 and the 07, yes. The scope of 05 is to integrate and optimize AI, data, and robotic solution and demonstrate using use cases how they optimize production or services, but also demonstrate the clear benefits in particular applications coming from major industrial sectors. The idea is to target on the food industry, generated a big impact considering the European Commission demand for resilient food systems. That's the idea behind. I also want to mention that for the specific topic, as BDVA task force in agri-food, we want to stimulate our members on project building, taking into advance the fact that they're active in the food sector, either acting as technology providers or organizations that are studying between the technology providers and the food industry. Next slide, please. Next. Regarding the 07 topic, the proposals are expected to focus on application-oriented use cases that enhance specific sectors in achieving significant improvement, functional and economic performance. Again, as Silvos, we are interested to participate in a consortium, at least with an agro-robotic use case in Flanders. Next slide. What experience ILVO offers as an institute on both topics? You may continue with the next. ILVO is an integrated institute, means we cover all the agri-food activities from farm to fork. This is very important, and we also have connection with the farming and the food industry, try to develop solutions that are tackling real industrial needs. I also want to mention that ILVO is running the food pilot unit, so and I also belong in the same department. Again, we have relevant project experience and a strong track record, which means we can develop use cases at different tier levels that can generate impact. Next one, please. And again, next. And we can also address not technical issues, which is part of the topic. And we also have experience in proposal writing and project management. I think this is also important. And we can also act as work package leader or coordinators. That's from my side. Please contact me for more, and we are open for collaboration. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Panos. So next up is Tatu Litinen, then Kai Södergaard and Atte Ojena from Delmos Helsinki. Tatu, are you here?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah. I'm Mika.
Mika, sorry.
Sorry, I'm replacing Tatu.
Okay.
So I'm from Kim Robotics, situated in Finland, and I'm kind of proposing project which is titled here Robust All-Weather GNSS-Free Localization. So next slide, please. Well, this is just the kind of the objectives of the project. So we've been working quite a long time already with different types of field and service robotics, and kind of localization has been the main issue for us. And we want to kind of be able to do it when GNSS is not available or it's somehow challenged. And we have already pretty good solutions for this problem.
Mika, can you speak up a little bit, because the audio is not very good.
Okay. All right. Right.
So now you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? I try to speak louder if that
okay,
helps.
perfect.
If that helps, okay. So could I have the next slide, please? So the thing why we are here pitching is that we would like to be in a project that handles the topic that I presented, and we would like very much to have some companies and partners to join us with this task or this quest for generic solution for localization. And we are of course looking for some high quality companies and universities that could help us with the coordination, software and testing issues, and all sorts of partners we are looking for. And the work that we need to perform are, of course, these traditional prototyping, programming, integration, testing, and dissemination. So can I have the next slide, please? So this is the slide that kind of shows that what we've been doing. So although the KIM Robotics is a new company, only 2014, most of us have been working since 80. Well, our founder, Professor Arne Halme, is from 86, doing work with mobile robotics. Most of our senior guys have been doing 20 to 30 years with these machines. And we have a very tight collaboration with our sister company, Sensible4, which is doing the road-based self-driving cars and vehicles, so on. But anyway, so we would very much like to hear from you if you are interested to tackle this problem. And we are present at this European Robotics Forum in Rotterdam later this month. So you will find us there if you are interested. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mika. So next one is Kai Södegaard.
Hello,
are you here?
you
Hi,
can
Kai.
hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Thank you, Just, and hello to everybody. I'm Kai Södergaard, working as a professor in digital services at VTT, the Technical Research Center of Finland, that might be known to several of you. And I will present our expertise now in the relevant topics. And I have also a connection to Adra. Have been on the board since the beginning of Adra and have the privilege to be a vice president of Adra. Next slide, please. So here's some figures about VTT. We claim to be a visionary research and development and innovation partner, and also one of the leading ones in Europe. And to, in a way, underline that, you can see from the number that almost half of our net income come from abroad, and European Union projects are very important there. So during the last Horizon Europe time, pardon me, Horizon 2020, we won 265 million euro in projects, and we have been ranked to be when there are more than 7,000 actors in this play. So VTT has the average is 18 there. So we are in the top 20, and some years, as you see, if you from the diagram, it has varied because, but at the best times we were fourth, the fourth best, 2017. So so we have 2,000 people, and I can claim that very many of our researchers have been engaged in European Union projects in different faculties, like of course as leaders, coordinators, and VP leaders, and technical managers, and so on. Next slide, please. And of course, we branch abroad a variety of disciplines and topics, starting here from the left. We are doing a lot in sensors, printed electronics that can be used in robotic systems, for example, and a lot in health and then if we are going right here, we are doing work very much in security and in managing the complexities of integrated systems that relates to the open course now, how to build the collaborative AI systems by the interplay of human and machines. And if we are looking at what we are doing, especially in the AI topics, then we go to the next slide.
Kai, can you wrap up quickly?
Yes. So we have about more than 100 researchers here, and very many nowadays in machine learning. That's of course a priority, and 1/3 of these have doctoral degrees. So we can help and eager to contribute in say all varieties of AI. So that concludes my
Thanks a lot, Kai.
and the contact information is on the slide. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kai. Okay, so next up is Adra from the Demos Helsinki or Demos Research Institute. After that, we have Diana Staff from the University of Technology of Eindhoven, and Kalina Boncheva. Oh no, so Kalina sent her excuses. After that is Istvan Soke from the Institute for Energy Technology. So Adra, are you here? Adra?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Adra. Go ahead.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm Adra from Demos Helsinki, where I work as a research coordinator, and we are a Nordic think tank. You can switch on to the next slide, please. I have to admit that there's been a bit of a mistake with the slides, so sorry about the colors apparently. But in any case, we're a Nordic think tank and a research organization which works on equitable use of AI in society and associated EU policies and so forth. And we are quite active in Horizon proposals. You can see some examples on the right-hand side. We work, for example, on token, on distributed technologies within public services and new models of data economy and so forth. And one project to highlight is called Avoiding AI Biases, where we are currently building an assessment framework for non-discriminatory AI systems for public organizations. Next slide, please. And as said, our expertise is mostly on the social sciences and ethics. So we focus on social implications of emerging technologies, AI ethics, trustworthiness, responsibility, bias and discrimination in AI. We are also quite focused on citizen participation, participatory design and co-design with citizens, gender and intersectionality in AI, and as said, data and AI governance from an EU lens. Next slide, please. And as said, so regarding the upcoming Cluster 4 calls, we're quite interested in all of them, but especially the emerging 0207 on increased robotics capabilities and demonstrating key sectors, quite interesting, and even more so the AI for human empowerment. And as said, our possible roles within those would probably be very much aligned with what I just proposed. So SSH and ethics partner, looking at the social context of technologies, trustworthiness, AI ethics in practice, looking at the acceptability and explainability from a citizen perspective, participatory design, EU policies, and perhaps building on and scaling our assessment framework for non-discriminatory AI systems further. And I'll also shortly mention that we did coordinate a proposal that got reserve listed last fall for the call on tackling gender, race, and other biases in AI. And it's possible we might try to repurpose it for the AI for human empowerment call with some of the existing partners this fall. But I do not have more information on that at this point, but in case you have some expertise, technical expertise in mixed human AI initiatives or hybrid decision systems, then you're welcome to contact me. But yeah, great to present, and thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ate. So then we have Diana Sta from the University of Technology Eindhoven. Hello, Diana.
Yes, hello, do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, and we see your slides, so let's go.
Great, thank you. So my name is Diana Stach, and I'm a project development officer at the Department of Industrial Design, Eindhoven University of Technology. Next slide, please. And in brief, the Department of Industrial Design is a department that develops design engineering and design research expertise. And in doing so, we focus on the one hand on the daily life of people, and this is what our researchers from the Future Everyday group are doing. And on the other hand, we have the group of systemic change that actually looking at the interface between technology and people, but at the level of a group or a community. More specifically, next slide, please. More specifically, we have very clearly defined research themes and application domains. So everything that is at the interface between people and technology is reflected in the themes that are listed to the left. For example, health is an application domain, and then both research groups at the level of individual and at the level of a group try to focus mainly on vitality, perinatal aspects, the life of people with dementia, in this context trying to help both in some contexts the people who work with these people and the people themselves, addressing their problems at different stages of evolution. On top of that, social robotics, researchers are looking mainly at how could robots and human-robot interaction help mainly children with autism, and then they work closely with schools so far, or the elderly. By aesthetic of intelligence research group, we mean mainly the direction of AI democratization and trying to make AI decisions not biased, or at least less biased. By interactive materiality, our researchers mean mainly creating materials for advancing the soft robotics, and the group of these researchers are trying now to coordinate a consortium for applying for the topic 0206. By social resilience, our researchers mean that they would like to lead to some transformations at a societal level, and at this moment they consider AI as a tool, or they work with data for reaching their goals. Design research methodology, it's an red line through the whole department, because we are advancing the research method, which is mostly research through design, and we use a lot of co-creation. And education is mainly referring to the work of Professor Markopoulos and Tilde Becker in designing for playful interaction, and at this point AI is also used as a tool. Next slide, please.
Can you wrap up,
yes.
Diana?
Okay, here I just wanted this slide to show that everything going on at TUE is under the umbrella of the recently settled up Eindhoven, well, relatively recently, a couple of years, Eindhoven Artificial Intelligence Systems Institute, and whatever researchers at TUE and ID as part of it are doing revolves around the moonshots presented to the right, of which 3 are vertical and 2 horizontal. So in case you would be interested in any of these moonshots, but not particularly in industrial design, you could also contact me and I will redirect you. In case you are interested in research together with our with the researchers from our department, please be aware that whatever we do also revolves around these moonshots. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana. Okay, so then we have Isfan Sok, so I probably mispronounced that. And after that, we have Cécile Kahl from Musea and Cercle Spiridon. Istvan, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you. Please.
Okay, thank you. So my context is in the first slide, so I guess we can go directly to the next slide. Ooh, something happened with the slide format here. Very strange, shows very strangely. But anyway, I'm from the Institute for Energy Technology in Norway. We are working in different areas of energy technology. I have been involved in the nuclear industry and I have been involved with digitalization for a long time. We have been leading a long international collaboration projects where we have been looking at digital technologies. And now we are also looking at robotics technologies, and basically also as a combination of digital and robotic technologies to innovate various industries. And I was the one who actually posted the question about the nuclear and the Euratom. And basically, you also see the DCOM cluster logo there, and that's the new cluster that we started, where we realized that the technologies that we have been developing in nuclear are very, very applicable in a lot of other industries. And apparently, in the nuclear, we're kind of ahead of development of robotics and digital deployments in conditions where you have some specific requirements, like in the nuclear, but also emergency preparedness and a lot of other industries where you have some kind of conditions that can affect either humans or the robots. Could you go to the next slide, please? Okay, this is somewhat better. Then there's 2 slides, and I will quickly mention on the AI and the data side, we are looking into various technologies, including application of virtual augmented reality, XR technologies, work simulations, real-time work simulations integrated with hazard and risks modeling and simulation. And we are integrating these kind of technologies with other technologies, complementary technologies like building information management and so on. And on top of that, we apply AI technologies, both on component-based, like visual recognition of potential hazards and risks, but also on the overall processes for improving, optimizing industrial processes using advanced digital technologies. And I think we can go to the last slide, which is the closest to, again, this shows very, very strangely. For some reason, when you transported it, I think it messed up completely the format, the background. This slide shows that basically we are strongly looking into the integration of digital technologies and robotic technologies and their application in safety critical and safety critical conditions and conditions where you could have hazards to the people and the robots. And this is done in our Hadron Hazard Aware Digitalization Robotics Lab. We do have an ongoing project that or proposal that we are coordinating, which we would like to submit either in 05 or 07. However, we are very happy to join other consortia for proposals where this kind of technology, ensuring safe application of digital technology and robotics in special conditions, is applicable using digital twins and evaluation of these, within the hazard and risk awareness. So we are very open to other collaborations. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Isfan, and our apologies for the slide. So we'll look into that. What
no worries.
Might indeed be something of a transformation.
No worries.
Issue.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we have. So I mentioned Cécile, but actually it will be Régis Guillonnet. Will be there.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So Musea is a small company that propose, a very small company, I would say a startup, that propose to bring human empowerment, innovation, and creativity to Horizon Europe projects, especially in artificial intelligence, data, and robotics, through the involvement of artists and creative people. Next slide, please. We are two founders, Cécile Calais, who is a researcher, arts professor, exhibition curator, and art advisor, and me as a chief engineer, former head of innovation department at the French Ministry of Interior. Our very different area of expertise lead to synergies combining art intelligence, engineering, and related technology. We would like to join any CL4 European consortium as a full SME partner, and we, in the past, at least, we were engaged in some European research projects like Asgard, Police, or cyberspace. Next, please. So what can we bring into European projects? Mainly, we stimulate creativity and boost innovation in all research area in artificial intelligence and improve data visualization. We develop the ability to think out of the box in order to develop a creative and prospective mindset. We can bring together profiles from the arts and humanities with other fields of work in a transdisciplinary way. We can enrich and refine the visualization of data through better showing and enhanced perception of the complexity of data. As you know, artists and designers make information more visually understandable. We can work with designers and artists to produce information, communication, and awareness-raising campaigns, including the production of films, cartoons, video games, digital material, and social media, etc. Of course, we can set up aesthetic digital platform and website for stakeholders and partners to easily and securely exchange research activities, digital strategies, and scientific projects. And lastly, we are able to organize events and exhibitions when required by European projects. We are very experienced in aesthetics and how to design harmonious and pleasant spaces. So thank you. It ends my presentation.
Thanks a lot, Regis. Next up is Özlem Albayrak, and after that we have Shirin Dora.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings from Turkey. This is Özlem Albayrak from Teknopar, and I would like to present an idea. Next slide, please. Teknopar is located in 4 different places, and so far we have completed more than 500 projects in 27 countries. Next slide, please. We are experienced in mechanics, hydraulic, automation, electronics, and information technologies, and bringing them together. Next, please. We develop applications related to industrial facilities, energy sector applications, mobile applications, and other applications. Next, please. Our expertise are machine-to-machine IoT platform development, big data artificial intelligence solutions, robotics, and digital twin development. Next slide, please. We are currently involved in 4 different Horizon 2020 projects, and in July, we will start 2 Horizon Europe projects. Next slide, please. And we are, developing digital platforms for energy, manufacturing, and process industries. Next slide, please. So in this pitch, I am going to present, next slide, please, our project idea. The idea is development and deployment of digital platforms for energy, manufacturing, and process industries that bring artificial intelligence, data, and robotics in order to have quality lives and a better world. For that, we currently formed an international consortium And we have use cases from the energy sector, especially from solar power. We have technology providers working for computer vision, data fusion, deep learning-based automated inspection, smart camera, AI-based image sensor, robotic platforms, and we work with first-class experts in research institutes for SLAM and swarm algorithms. What we need, next slide, please, is to address one of these topics, either the digital emerging O207 or human O201. Next slide, please. And for that, we need more application-oriented use cases. Next, please. Experts with social sciences and humanities focused on ethics, trustworthiness, and acceptability by humans at the design phase. Next slide, please. And we are searching for technology providers and research institutes that are working for 6G networks, explainable AI, human-centric AI, innovative HMIs, quantum science, graphene, and sensings. Plus, next, please, DIH networks. Next slide, please. If you are, next slide, please. If you are also interested to develop solutions for the calls and be part of the idea, please welcome to connect to Pünal@teknopark.com.tr and albayrak@teknopark.com.tr. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Albayrak. So next we have Shirin Dora from Loughborough University. And after that, it's Hilal Ozdemir from Kostas Yapi Marketeliri. So sorry about the pronunciation. Shirin, are you here? Yes, I see. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, I'm a lecturer at Loughborough University in UK, and even it took me a while to figure out the correct pronunciation for Loughborough, so I don't blame you. So my primary area of expertise is artificial intelligence on the edge. Next slide, please. So in general, I'm interested in both research innovation actions as well as innovation actions. And one particular that's relevant on my profile is mentioned AI, data, and robotics for industry optimization. The other RIA that I would be particularly interested in is pushing the limit of physical intelligence and performance. And I'll talk about why I'm more relevant for this RIA and this IA when I talk about my expertise. Next slide, please. So I'm at an early stage in my career, so I'm not looking to coordinate projects as I don't have the necessary experience. And I'm looking for industrial as well as academic expertise who have the necessary use cases that builds on my expertise, where I can exploit my expertise, and other academics as well who are working in complementary research areas. Next slide, please. So, okay, things have been messed up for me as well a bit because of the formatting. I apologize for that. So as I said, my primary area of expertise is artificial intelligence on the edge, where I look at topics like edge computing, energy efficiency, online learning, lifelong learning, federated learning, which are very much aligned with the topics mentioned today in the pushing the limit of physical intelligence and performance RIA. And my primary area of expertise is neuromorphic computing, and I also look at other forms of bio-inspired artificial intelligence approaches in order to address these challenges of energy, lifelong learning, and federated learning. At Loughborough University, we have the necessary infrastructure for high-performance computing. We have a lot of industrial robotics from companies like ABB and other prominent companies like Universal Robotics. We have the Centers for Intelligent Automation Center and Smart Manufacturing Centers, and Loughborough is particularly big on sports. We have our own Sports Technological Institute, and so one of the it's the topmost university across the whole world in sports. So we do a lot of research on sports equipments as well. And then we also have our own indoor testing for drones. We have the Lucas Lab, which is mainly involved in aerial robotics. Regarding the proposed activities that I'm happy to be involved in includes writing, brainstorming ideas, reporting, and leading research, which involves both dissemination and exploitation of ideas. And I'm also happy to contribute to other necessary activities, not coordination, because again, I don't have the necessary expertise for that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Shirin. So next one is Hilal. Maybe you can help me out pronouncing your name correctly.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Okay, very good. Welcome, everyone. I am Hilal from Koçtaş. We are a retailer company in home improvement industry. Our R&D center is located in Istanbul, and we have more than 280 stores through Turkey. We have been studying on a mobile robot since 1.5 years. Next slide, please. We are interested in the core increased robotics capabilities demonstrated in key sectors, AI, data, and robotics partnership. Our robot will do mainly 2 tasks currently. In the first step, it will do the routine retail operations like reading barcodes, making comparison between the product labels and subsystem, recognizing the products with image processing. And after that, robot will welcome customers and help them during their shopping journey. And also, robot will understand the customer speech and will create smart dialogues with conversational AI. Our future plan is giving the authority to making sales operations with this robot. And any customer from any location of the physical stores can do the purchasing operations with the robots. Because of the time limitation, I put very brief summary here, but with B2B meetings, you can contact me from my email address and telephone. Next slide, please. We are capable of integrating hardware components and making software developments for this robotics. And we are welcoming partners who are working in AI and big data processing, as well as with conversational AI and smart dialogue systems. Any institutes are welcomed, like big, large and SME, R&D centers, universities, and other user groups. As a Koçtaş, we are a big retailer company, and we are a good use case developer, as well as R&D partner. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Hilal. So then we have Tuba Arslan from CEST. See you here.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tuba, and I am the R&D and Innovation Manager of CEST. Could I have the next slide, please? And here is CEST in a nutshell. We are an SME from Turkey, and we have significant expertise in speech and natural language processing, 22 years of track record in conversational text. We have more than 200 clients around the globe. We are especially active in 16 countries, starting from USA, UK, Ukrainian, or Middle East markets. We have approximately 150 employees at the moment, and 70% of this workforce are R&D engineers. And we have our own core technologies like speech recognition, text-to-speech, voice biometrics, and natural language processing. Next slide, please. We have 2 R&D centers in Turkey, and we have we successfully convert our R&D outcomes to commercialized projects, which represents 88% of our revenue. We have 11 patents, mostly in USA, and we have more than 60 publications so far. And until now, we have participated in more than 35 projects, including 1 Excel, 1 Eurostars, 1 Global Star, 4 Eureka, and many other national projects. And here are the calls that we are interested in. We can especially add value to the proposals when the call emphasize multimodality, especially when there's speech and textual data, or when there is emphasis on interaction design or human-machine collaboration, for instance. Next slide, please. And here are the expertises that we can offer. We divide our technologies into 3 main groups. First one is conversational AI, and under this solution group, we offer virtual assistants, speech recognition for more than 20 languages now, text-to-speech, various artificial intelligence models like intent detection, sentiment analysis, etc. And natural language processing tools for spoken language understanding or intent detection or named entity recognition purposes. And the second main group is conversational biometrics. We can verify a speaker's identity from his or her speech characteristics. And the last but not least is the conversational analytics group. In this analytics platform, we can gather speech data and then transcribe it into text automatically with speech recognition. And then we can perform many different statistical analysis, starting from topic identification to emotion detection. And all of these outputs can be used for decision making or root cause analysis purposes. Next slide, please. Thanks for listening. And here are my contact details if you're interested in our profile. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Tuba. So we move on to Laurent Thibodeau from Fiji, and after that it will be Alain Dinis from Systematic. Hello, Laurent.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Laurent Thibodeau. I'm the Innovation Director of Fiji Solar. Fiji is a SME, a French SME operating in the photovoltaic industry, and in particular in the performance optimization along the PV value chain, with particularly 2 offers, diagnostic for PV plants performance and repowering. Fiji has been operating since 2014 and is now a recognized player in this industry. Next slide, please. We are particularly interested in the 0205 call, which is an innovation action call, with an objective. It's not a very precise project yet, but we are looking for partners to define a better project, a better definition of the goal of the project. The overall objective is to enhance efficiency of processes in the PV value chain by accelerating PV project identification, optimizing PV plants performance, all these by means of artificial intelligence techniques. Next slide, please. So what we are looking for in terms of competencies is first coordination. We have no resources for that and no experience in this. We are also looking for partners with artificial intelligence technologies, new technologies, also users in the renewable energy value chain in order particularly to build a use case for this topic. So that would be a use case either in the photovoltaic value chain or in the renewable energy value chain. Types of partners sought are industry, SME, research and technology centers. Any partner with a strong competencies in artificial intelligence, data mining, machine learning, geographical information systems, that is of strong interest for us, predictive maintenance also. So there are, of course, possible synergies with other value chains. I already mentioned renewables, such as wind, for example. And other partners in the renewable energy value chains are welcome to contact us. So the work to be performed in our view today would be prototyping, programming, integration into users' information systems. Next slide, please. Our expertise, Fiji is actually develops innovative solutions in two main sectors yet. So extend the lifetime and improve the performance of existing photovoltaic plants. And two is to contribute to the massification of solar PV in Europe by accelerating processes in particular for PV projects, new projects identifications.
Can you wrap up, Laurent?
Yes, so our expertise is in solar PV business, quite broadly, and also in artificial intelligence, and we already have some tools. We have strong collaboration today with French labs, but we are looking for EU partners in order to build this use case and to reinforce our integration in the EU ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Laurent. So next up is Alan Dinis from Systematic.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm Alain Dinis. I'm a European project manager at Systematic Paris region. Systematic is the biggest deep tech cluster in France. And I'm going to present you the Monitera project. Next slide, please. The project idea that falls into Digital Emerging 0207 is really to find a way to monitor human, technological, and social impact on the Earth environment through smart devices and digital technologies. And of course, the idea is to experiment that on selected territories. So on the conceptual diagram you see there, the idea is really to have to gather data from different type of robots, drones that will be on the outdoor environment, and to be able to gather from different type of spaces, from aerial data, land data, and also subaquatic data, with different type of technology suppliers. That could be drones, robots, AUVs, underwater ROVs, and sensors and IoT when it's embedded in the robots. And all this data will be put on a database and contextualized both geographically, and also the idea is to be able to visualize the data either in 2D or in 3D visualization. So of course, we will have an integrated GIS and different type of tools that will allow us to visualize on virtual reality or extended reality, and to be able to monitor the evolution of the ecosystem through time. And the idea is this platform will allow experts to analyze and to do the forecast of the data that has been collected. And this platform will serve as a marketplace. And of course, the idea is to be able to communicate on the results to the public. Next slide, please. So we are looking for coordinators, work package leaders, people and companies that are specialized in cascade funding, and also on multi-sided web platform. The type of partners of the industry, of course, it's people that are working in the environment, sustainability, deep tech. We're looking for SMEs, RTD centers, universities that are specialized in robotics, drones, IoT, intelligence artificial, and data science. And the idea is that the project will be, we could experiment that to the quadruple helix. So of course, public authorities on defined territories, industry, academia, and citizen. And as you see, we have already started working on the work packages. And as you see, the idea on the center from work package 5 to work package 7 is that we will be able to create on the platform a toolbox where we will link a catalog of connected devices and of course robots and drones, and on the other side to have data sets and also a different application based on artificial intelligence. And the idea will be to do a matchmaking between those technologies and to experiment the products in real situation in the field. Next slide, please. So systematic, as we mentioned before, we have a deep tech cluster in Paris. So we have been working on several French and European projects. And our idea is to strengthen our innovation with the European projects and to facilitate international developments with our partners and to reinforce innovation. And on our side, we are specialized in marketing, networking, communication, and dissemination of European product. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Alain. So next up is Maria Pedrosa from NITEC.
Yes.
Maria,
hello.
you here?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
We hear you, but we don't see you yet.
I'm sorry, but I think I should.
Yes, now we see you.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I can see myself. So, I'm going to present NITEC. We are a research center for the expertise software. So you can have my data to contact. I am the head of European projects. And well, next slide, please. So I can show you who we are. I just realized there's a mistake in the mail calls of interest because this is from the draft of the next work plan. So I will send the correct one so you can send it to all the participants, okay? NITEC is a private nonprofit foundation. We have a long time, more than 30 years of experience. And we work on mobility and mechatronics fields. And we are members of now from Adra and also the CCAM and other European partnerships. For this year, we are interested not in these calls here, but in those presented by Antonio, the digital emerging, the three of them, especially the AI, data, and robotics for industry optimization. We can contribute. Next slide, please. We can contribute with all those fields of expertise, especially machine learning, computer vision, and digital twins. We work very, very close to the companies. We can develop research from TRL 3-4 up to 6-7. And well, next slide, please. Here you can show our infrastructure, what we can use in this research. We have several laboratories for AM data analytics, digital technologies, also cybersecurity, and autonomous system laboratory. And also recently we have developed a neural circuit facility where we can test autonomous vehicles and also drone technologies. And we are in close collaboration with the Pamplona City Council also. And well, I think that's all. I will send the correct presentation so you can have the right calls. Thank you.
Of course, Maria, thank you. All right, so now we have Zeynep.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay,
we
good.
hear you, but we don't see you.
Now you must see me, but I open my camera. Yes, okay, great.
You.
Okay, hello everyone. So thank you for this organization. It's actually great to be a part of it. And thank you for allowing us to make a smart introduction. So here my email address, so feel free to send an email. Next slide, please. So I will be giving small details about FAR+ for you to understand the overall view of our company. So FAR+ is a member group of Park Holding, and it is established in 1968. So, and it has 4 R&D centers, 10 production locations, and on those production locations, we have more than 80 injection mold machines, and also all injection mold machines operate simultaneously with 3-axile or 6-axile robots, which is more than 50 years of experience. FAR+ is a full system automotive tier 1 company, which produces plastic systems for the global and local OEM. So you can see the customer range. So we mostly work with Toyota, Renault, Hyundai, Ford, and Fiat. You can skip to the next slide. So FAR+'s variety of products fulfill its customers' expectations, and we ensure a continuous system supplier partnership for both passengers and commercial vehicle builders. So this is actually a small introduction of the product range that we produce in our shop floors. So mostly IP, console, exterior, interior trims, and lighting and ceiling systems. So kind of our format also are kind of mixed up, but no problem. Our interested subjects are advanced robotics, industrial Internet of Things, simulation, data and analytics, and AI, and industrial 4.0. You can skip to the next slide. So our core competencies are, material improvements, product and process engineering, mold design, prototyping, test and analysis. But besides all of these, FAR+ has a strong technical capabilities in terms of robot and PLC program skills. So these are the general titles of our capabilities in terms of Industry 4.0 for manufacturing excellences. So advanced manufacturing techniques, IoT, advanced robotics, machine visions, and AI in management. So we are doing all of these know-hows, and we are expanding them and integrating them to our shop floors, not only to manage the data in product lifecycle management, and we want to create a collaboration environment with human and AI operations. We also would like to monitor shop floor environment data and how many raw materials or energy consumption has been made. So it is all for standardization of operational work to increase production efficiency with digitalization. So our all focus here is to make a digitalization with material technologies and other trend topics that we are working. Next slide, please.
Can you please wrap up, Zenit?
Yeah, that's actually the last slide. So I would like to share our active European projects, so Revolution, Teaming AI, Multicycle, I4Q, Vital, and Bias. So we are not only working in material technology, but also in AI-related topics. So we would like to be a part of a consortium that focus on these kind of related topics. And yeah, actually that's all. Since you have my contact address and you have the slides, you're free to get me in touch. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Zeynep. So then we have Simos Gerasimou from the University of York. Are you there, Simos?
Yes, I'm here. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you and we can see you.
Okay, you can see my slide. You have my slides. Right, so hello everyone. I'm Simos. I'm an assistant professor at the University of York in the UK. and I'm the scientific director of the CESAMI H2020 project, which is has to do with safe and secure multi-robot systems. So if you can go to the next slide. Yes. So CESAMI, it's a project that is currently running, and the core objective is to bring together the various stakeholders that are participating in the engineering of robotics and other autonomous systems, including robotic users, software developers, and safety and security engineers. And the whole concept of CESAMI is to develop an approach that supports the systematic engineering of those robotic teams, and those systems are the developed approach is open, modular, configurable, and it's underpinned by some model-based paradigms that enable to automatically generate the necessary infrastructure to deploy those systems. Some of the applications that we are considering in CESAMI, so it's currently halfway, I would say, involve using drones for pesticide spreading, for power station inspection, and the mobile vehicles for hospital disinfection. Now, why am I saying all this? So within CESAMI, what we have been developing is focusing primarily on robot-robot interaction. And the human-robot interaction, especially within collaborative environments where robotic teams and robotic users are working and robotic operators are working together, this is not something that it has been covered. But we have seen some, but we see the promise, especially within the digital emerging calls, to build on that and extend these capabilities to support multi-human, multi-robot, or human-robot collaboration environments, building on this foundation that we are building within CESAMI. So some other aspects that we are considering is the foundation building on integrating the digital with the simulated artifact and the physical environment through digital twins. So this is not something that we are currently covered, and there is an increasing need to bridge the reality gap and merge these three worlds. And in terms of expertise that at least from the University of York we are offering, it's a key knowledge in software engineering and model-driven engineering, essentially how we develop abstractions that enable to develop tools and technologies for the end users, which requires a modest effort and does not require key programming or other low-level expertise because of using domain-specific languages, and also key expertise on safety and assurances, how you develop those systems so that they conform to safety and security principles in order to enable to develop safety cases and showcase that they are trustworthy. York as well has recently developed what we call the Institute for Safe Autonomy. So it's a state-of-the-art facility of 40+ million that hosts various robotic and autonomous systems facilities, and that would be another expertise offered by the organization. So that's all from me. Happy to catch up and talk with anyone interested.
Thanks a lot, Simos. Okay, so that was the last slide presentation that we received beforehand. So we got some presentation for very last minute. So there is Maria Jose Piana from CATEC.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Maria. Will you share your screen in your presentation?
Yes, of course. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we see it. Go ahead.
Perfect. So, hello, everyone. This is Maria Jose from CATEC. First of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to participate in this Infoday and present our capabilities. So, as I mentioned, I work in CATEC, the Advanced Center for Aerospace Development. We are a research center located in Seville, at the south of Spain. We are a private research center focusing on developing aerospace technology, and specifically, I work in the Avionics division. We have more 14 years of experience in the development of drone technologies. In fact, we are the leading technology center in Europe in the development of drone technology for civil application. Currently, we have more than 100 engineers and technicians working on this technology. Our staff have extensive experience participating in European projects. We have been involved in 25 European projects in the last 12 years, and now we are coordinating the H2020 project piloting. We have more than 9 million euros of funding and are related with the technologies that apply to the topics presented today. Our experience is backed by international awards like the Overall Innovation Radar Prize in 2017 for a drone that is capable of making inspection and maintenance tasks with contact, and also a prize in the MPEG competition for capture drone technologies. We have also in Spain and in European level direct collaboration with the major companies of the sector in Spain, and we have a state-of-the-art equipment and facilities to the development of these technologies, including a test flight center in Andalusia. So what is nuestro main know-how related with the topics that apply? We have a wide experience in implementation of advanced guidance, navigation, and control algorithms, also in the customization of the control station and mission software for different applications. We have developed also a lot of projects related with the capture drone technologies. We have experience in the development of multi-vehicle trajectory planning algorithms, also in swarming technologies. Finally, I would like to explain our experience related to the artificial intelligence technologies. We have developed different projects where we have solved the problem of the death and avoid applying deep learning algorithms, like the problem of the automatic detection of other aircraft. We have also experienced in the onboard autonomous detection and tracking of people. We have applied all these technologies to different sectors, like surveillance security. We have also a big experience developing the solution for inspection and maintenance projects. So this is more or less our experience. We have open to find new collaboration. This is my contact. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to.
Thanks a lot, Maria Jose. So next up is Errol Sahin.
Hi.
Hi, Errol.
Just give me a second, and I should be able to.
You can start your screen, yes.
Let's go. Okay. This is Errol Sahin from Middle East Technical University, Romer Center for Robotics and AI Technologies. I'm the director of this center. This center was established a year ago, and to create basically an excellent center in Turkey and bring together a lot of engineering expertise at the university as well as in Turkey. And Middle East Technical University is the leading technical university, one of the leading technical university in Turkey, which is a leader in funding from EU programs and as well as the national research funding. And at this moment, we also opened the first graduate program in robotics. I represent a faculty of more than 60 faculties from different disciplines, as you can see, and we cover research from collaborative robots to wearable robotics, humanoid robots, unmanned underwater and surface vehicles, as well as AI in things like motion planning, human-robot interaction, deep learning, computer vision, and etc. We have been establishing ourselves. At this time, we have quite a lot of infrastructure that's been building up, and we'll have more to come. This is all through our national funding. We have a motion capture space, as well as some mechatronics shop and state-of-the-art prototyping facilities, as well as quite a lot of robots, which I could just show a sample to give you an idea how wide our research range is. We have quite again, wide expertise in robotics. This starts from power electronics and making custom motors to building bee-like micro robots in to operate in a beehive. This is a project from in future emerging technologies called RoboRoyale, as well as other projects on humanoid cognitive robotics, collaborative robots, legged locomotion, or swarm robotics with UAVs, UUVs and USVs, as well as autonomous driving. On the AI side, we have quite a lot of expertise in deep learning and computer vision. So we have some faculty who are leaders in what they do. They are experienced in visual recognition, scene understanding, learning with limited and generated data, real-time and video analysis, lifelong and supervised learning, as well as robust and reliable AI. And we are interested in participating, a lot of the calls here, but in particular, I would like to underline our interest in this call for the European Network of AI Excellence Centers for AI Lighthouse, because with our expertise and involvement in basically AI and robotics, I believe that we are the prime partner to participate in such a consortium. And if you want to connect us, then our contact is romer@meto.edu.tr, and I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Errol. So then we move on to Ray Walsh.
Thanks very much, Just, and thanks to Marion as well for sticking me in here at the last minute. Just a quick update, I'll be brief anyway. Just in relation to standardization, obviously, for those who don't know me, I'm involved in quite a few ICT and emerging technology standardization projects, which spans AI, data, smart cities, IoT, cloud, etc. Stand ICT is probably the most famous one, but the HS Booster and Adra E, obviously, because of the Adra project, and be giving a mention as well. So quickly, I'm going to just zoom through this. You'll all have a copy of the slides afterwards if you want to contact me anyway. So the HS Booster one, it's the EU standardization booster specifically for Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe, or any other European Commission funded project that is already in existence. So what the booster does is it takes the RTDI outputs of any of these European funded projects, and it engages them directly with standardization experts. So the budget for this particular pilot project is 2 million, and what we will be doing is hand-holding European projects, EC funded projects, engaging them with national committees, mirror committees, getting them editorial expertise, convener expertise, working group expertise, whatever is needed across any international or European standards for it. The booster program then is about engaging the community, so right across all of the European projects, European funded projects, about setting the scene for policy standards and synergies, so to be able to tap into the needs, particularly the digital single market needs from a European Commission perspective, and outreach and reporting then the community as well. So it has a broad remit, which is across community, across the EC projects, new standards development, obviously for these RTD output valorization, and the uptake of new technologies which are embedded in the new projects. The HS Booster then has a first open call, which will be coming to 21st of June, and they will be continually rolling 5 open calls for projects to get engaged and get support. So across health, resilience, sustainable digitalization, green transition, smart cities, etc. So quite a broad remit. Open call at the moment for standardization experts. So if you want to join our pool of experts, if you have expertise in standardization, then you should actually contact the Horizon 2020 funded project, this HS Booster funded project, so that you can get on the role of standardization. Then the second project is Stand ICT, which most people are aware of, which funds ICT engagement at an international level. So it's much broader than Booster, which is just confined to commission projects. This is across any industrial partner or academic partner or any stakeholder can apply to get funding from Stand ICT to get support in their standardization engagement. So particularly in this is specifically in the ICT sector. HS Booster is broader than ICT, so that it's funded projects across any sectors, not necessarily ICT. So it could be hydrogen, etc. So we've got a grants platform for Stand ICT. 4 million euro, 3 million in grants are given out, and currently up as far as our 7th open call. You apply to the grants platform. If you're successful, you get funded to engage in standards at a European or international level, particularly looking at high value funding. So people who are engaging as a chair, as a convener, as an editor, are definitely as a significant contributor to international and European standardization. We publish landscape reports in key areas. So we've already 4 landscape reports published, which is across AI, smart cities, digital twin, and AI, smart cities, digital twin, and one other, trusted information. Large community, large expert advisory group, and we also produce impact reports. So everybody gets funded, we follow their progress, and we produce an impact report to say how they've contributed to international standardization. Fund right across the broad cross-section. ISO IEC, so Joint Technical Committee of IEC is the big winner because of the type of projects that are supported by that international community. And secondly, ISO itself, because TC 307, which is blockchain technical committee, is specifically run out of ISO. But then you see the ESOs, ETSI and Sensenlec on the right hand side also get funding, but also all the way down you see the vast majority of standards development organizations have come through Stand ICT at some stage. As I say, the publications, quickly, publications are downloaded on a regular basis, so very active community, lots of downloads. 7th open call is currently underway, and the Adra E partnership is 4 million applied to Adra E to support the community, which is AI, data, and robotics. Contributing lots of standards, new standards, and standards repositories specifically in the AI data robotics community. So I skip through the objectives and just to say that any support you're required, like if your project requires standardization or has a standardization element, and the EU is pushing in that direction at the moment, that you have to at least cite the current standards that are available in your technology area in order to rank highly in terms for funding. You should probably engage some standardization experts to help you either as a partner or at least as a contributor to your proposal. That's it. Thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks much, Ray. So we still had a presentation planned for Paolo Bertini, but I don't think he's here. Paolo Bertini. So I guess then we'll be closing the event. So thanks a lot to all of you for joining. Also a big thank you for the team that made this all possible. So BDVA, Anna, Sina, Mattia, that have been very helpful in setting this up, and also from Claire, Alexa, and Marianne, who's also involved in Adra. So a big thank you for helping us to set this up. So there will be a number of other brokerage events planned in the near future. So I know 2 examples, BDVA that will organize a session, and Robotics that will next week during the Robotics Forum in Rotterdam will also provide opportunities. So with that, another thank you to all who stayed until the end. I hope this was a useful event for you, and I wish you all a pleasant lunch and a pleasant rest of the day.